Thank you, Travis. All right, so I'm going to go kind of quick. First off, can you see me writing on this chart, or actually on this picture here? If you can, just give me a yes if you hear me, and if you see me writing on the thing, write the answer to this question right here. That is, what is this plus this? And I'll make sure that everything. All right, 20. Very nice. All right, cool. That means it's working. All right, cool. So I'm dyslexic. So I write on things a lot because I can't spell. All right. So how many of you in here currently use 10 plus 10 is Super Tuesday. There you go. Currently use Ichimoku. How many of you in here currently use Ichimoku in your trading? Yes, no, no, I do. Let me see here. No, no, no. Little, no, 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 yes. All right, so it's a mixed group. All right, cool. All right. All right, so first, everybody, make sure you read the warning disclaimer, CFTC Rule 4.41. I'm going to be showing you some hypothetical. I'm going to show you some simulated stuff. But really, I'm going to be showing you really how I use this to find better trades, all right? So what I'm going to do is first I got to make sure that you understand you should never trade more money than you can afford to lose. Only discretionary income, all right? Now, I'm registered. I'm a registered Series 3 and a registered Series 30, which just means it's a fancy way of saying that I took a couple of tests and got a 70% or above on them. That's it. That's all it means. You may be asking yourself, well, why are you registered? Not because I wanted to get registered, but as a professional trader, there are a few ways that you can lower your commission rates, and that's one of the ways. So one of my current partners and I, we started up a futures IB business, which is a futures brokerage business. We don't really clear anybody else but ourselves, and you put up $50,000 or $60,000 and you can clear your own trades that way. And then also I either lease or own seats on the exchanges that I trade on. The reason I do that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, if the market's going up for me, it's fairly easy to make money, right? If it's going down, it's faster to make money. But when it's going sloppy and choppy sideways back and forth like this, us pros get chopped up too. So if it goes sideways like that, you generate a lot of commissions, and the best way to do it is either, number one, don't trade, which sometimes is impossible, and number two, you can, pay wholesale instead of retail. So that's why I'm registered. So your trading career will probably end up like a bad country song in reverse. Your wife's going to leave you for your best friend. Your kids are going to grow up to hate you. You're going to lose all your money. They're going to come and repossess your Chevy or Ford pickup truck, and then they're going to come and foreclose on your single-wide or double-wide trailer. I get audited by the CFTC and the NFA. If your dog runs away, no, your dog just dies. So if you understand the disclaimer, just give me a yes. So if they audit it, they'll be like, all right, Hubert tried to scare him to death. He did the good job. Just give me a yes there so I'm covered. My name is Hubert Centers. I'm known in the industry as having my no BS approach to trading and investing. It's just pretty low key. Now that I've sufficiently scared you enough, hopefully I can give you a little bit of hope. If the little fat redneck from Kentucky can do this, I think you got a shot too. Now there's been all kinds of different studies out there about traders. Like I've seen only about 2% of us, and I've seen the success rate as high as 20%. I am no different than you. I put my pants on every day like you, one leg at a time. If I can do it, I think you got a good shot too. Obviously, your range is going to be anywhere from 20 to 2%. I don't know where that's at. So when I was growing up in the hills of eastern Kentucky in the coal mines, I had a few things that I could do when I was a kid. I could grow up to be a coal miner, which I was not looking forward to. I could have been a teacher or a factory worker, not my gig, or I could have grown weed, the marijuana, right? The cannabis, which is getting legal in a lot of states. Eventually, it'll probably be legal in Kentucky, and it'll be our number one cash crop because they grow enough around here to kill somebody. You could do meth. You could be a meth dealer, or you could be a moonshiner, right? So none of these kind of were up my alley because these three right here will just land you in the pen, and your cellmate or your roommate will be Bubba in a big orange jumpsuit fighting over who gets the top bunk or the bottom bunk. I didn't think that was a great deal, so I was like, all right, I can get the heck out of here. So I started where you start. Everybody starts at the beginning. And I started on my journey to figure out what wealthy, successful, and driven people do to make their millions of dollars. And for me, I came with there's three main ways to do that. There was trading and investing. Okay, there is investing in businesses, Okay, owning them outright, or cash flowing them, or just backing them as an angel investor. That's number two. And then number three, there's real estate. And those are the main three ways that I figured out that everybody that I kind of went and asked or worked with or worked for were making their money. So I decided, all right, so I'm going to try all three of those the same way all these people were doing. I have put in my good old-fashioned hard work, sweat and tears. And if you ever want to start at something and get to an end point where you're making millions of dollars, heads up, you're going to have to work your ass off. It's not easy. It's not pretty. It's not glamorous. You just have to put in a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and you just have to work your ass off, okay? So after about 8 to 10 years of good old-fashioned hard work, congratulations, you too are going to be an overnight success story, all right? So I am now fortunate enough to where I hang out with a lot of other successful, wealthy, driven individuals, and we all do these meetings where we go to, and they're called masterminds. And the attendee fee is $25,000 a year, and you get 4 meetings where everybody just sits around a table, and we all try to fix each other's problems or help each other or do business with each other. And these are some of those pictures from those meetings. And I don't show you any of this to impress you. I show it to impress upon you that if a fat redneck from Kentucky can do it, you got a pretty good shot too, okay? So this is a picture of me and Paula Abdul. She's actually about 6 inches shorter than that. She's got 6-inch heels on. This is Sir Richard Branson. We'll give him a little mustache there. Richard and I both suffer from dyslexia. I've helped him raise some money for his and his mother's charitable foundation, Virgin Unite. This is Mr. Wonderful. He's kind of evil. You got to be careful. He will gut your business if you let him. And this is Dave Ramsey, and this is one of his Christmas events at his company. And then this is me. I'm this guy with this big square head. I never wear this stuff unless I have to do some kind of crazy photo shoot for a magazine or something. I am in front of these 6 24-inch LCDs, and I'm sitting at my desk right now, but I've got one of those cool desks where you hit a up button, and it'll raise, and a down button and a lower, and I've got a treadmill underneath it. Right now I'm sitting on a chair teetered on top of the treadmill because I got tired of standing. And I always joke around here like there's going to be some kind of study that LCD monitors actually is a cancer risk to either your brain or your testicles, and I know I'm going to be screwed. So when I was a kid growing up, I watched a lot of Ghost of Mr. Chicken, Scooby-Doo, and Batman, and they all had those little secret bookcase doors that lead to, you know, secret hideaway lairs. So in my house, if you walk downstairs, there is a bookcase, and you pull this book, and you press that button, and it opens up into a 1,500 square foot office where me and my team work every day. And we affectionately just call it the Bat Cave, just because it's got that secret room. So that's where I'm coming from. That's pretty much all you need to know about me. Now I'm going to get on with the content and teach you how to use this stuff. So congratulations. You're in the right place at the right time, and here's why. I'm going to give you at the end of this webinar an opportunity to learn more and take your Ichimoku trading to the next level. So if you use candlesticks, or if you just use charts in general, you're gonna find a new way to scan the markets for really great trades. All right. So what all does this work on? It works on stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, and gold. On some things it works on better than other, depending on the time frame. But I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of fit it to all the markets. Now, you do not trade everything the same way. You just don't. Like, you wouldn't trade Apple and Google the same way you would Cisco and Microsoft, would you? I know I wouldn't. I would trade them totally different. You also don't trade the bond market and the gold market the same way you would trade crude oil or corn, right? Because they just trade differently. So it's super, super important that you understand that you don't trade everything the exact same way, but I'm going to show you a good overall strategy on how to use this. So this will be different in it, but in a good way. You can probably tell that I like to cut up and mess around and have a good time. I've never met anybody that gets out of this world alive, so the way I look at it is I don't take myself very serious. I do take what I do for a living very serious. I just don't take myself very serious. So here are some back-tested results of this tactic. On the S&P 500 over the last 5 years, out of 500 stocks on the S&P 500, it worked on 430 of those. So that's a pretty good success ratio. All right. Now, if you would have taken, every signal, the long, the short, the long, the long, the short, the long, the short, you would have been paid a 33% return on your investment. Now, if you'll remove a lot of those counter trend signals and use a 3-day confirmation to filter the trend, you can increase your return from 33% to as high as 79%. So that's pretty decent, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's been profitable on 29 currencies over the last 10 years using a daily, an hourly, and a 10-minute time frame. Now what I do is I use the daily and the 10-minute, or the daily and the 60-minute, depending on what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to show you this. This is one of the most important slides of the presentation. So what you're looking at here is time frame selection. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at daily, hourly, and 10-minute. If I'm looking at a daily chart, my time horizon is weeks. If I'm looking at an hourly chart, my time horizon is days of time. If I'm looking at a 10-minute, my time horizon is hours. So the chart's going to extend to the right on a daily chart 20 to 30 days, so 1 month. The hourly is going to extend 3 days to the right, and the 10-minute is going to extend 4 hours. Okay? So this is what you want. It's the #1 technique used in Japan. You're going to know exactly what's happening in seconds. It's designed to produce very clear signals. Ichimoku means at a glance. So the chart's going to automatically look either really, really good, really, really bad, or you're not going to know. It's either going to be beautiful up, beautiful down, or sideways. You're going to immediately know in seconds. The edge for you now, it's one of the very few indicators that I know of that is going to give you the past, the present, and the future. It's the only one out there that really does it effectively really, really good. So let's go through this. This is going to be the audience participation part of the webinar. You should have a black screen with a blue ribbon running through it and some price action. This thing is called the cloud UD. First thing you need to know is if the price action is above the cloud, overall you want to try to stay bullish. That means this thing is in bull mode. If the price action was down here, then we would be bearish in nature. All right. So write down really quickly, just type in cloud in the question and answer. Just type C-L-O-U-D. All right, and that will let me know that you were paying attention. Cloud. All right, cool. And then now let's take a look at all of these setups. All right, so all of these lines. So you got cloud, C-L-O-U-D. This is the turning line, T-U-R-N. So type in turning line. Now, as you can see, how this works is this little blue thing is going to act like either a fluffy little pillow or a mini trampoline, right? It's either going to drift down here and sink in a little bit, or it's going to bounce off of this. Like this one didn't work great, but that one worked pretty good. This one worked good, that one worked good, this one worked good, that one worked good. So what this is telling you is this thing wants to go up in nature, all right? And if it sells off to that, that's going to be the support, and it's going to jump off of that. So we've got our cloud, we've got our turning line, all right? And the second line that we have here is called the standard line. So we've got the cloud, C-L-O-U-D. The yellow line is called the turning line. Purple line is called the STD, or the standard line. So we've got cloud, we've got turning line, we've got standard line. Now, if we break the yellow, we're probably going to the purple. If we break the purple, we're going to the blue. If we break the blue, we're in a new massive downtrend, okay? Now, here's our last line. So we've got cloud, C-L-O-U-D. We've got turning line, T-U-R-N. And we've got the standard line, the STD. And then here we have the lagging line, or the confirmation line, on the back end of things. All right? So if we break the yellow, we're going to the purple. Break the purple, we're going to the blue. All right, so here's how all these things work, and this is how they're calculated. The turning line is the midpoint calculation of the high and the low of the last 9 days divided by 2. So here's what that looks like. So here you've got the red line, and here's today, 9. You count back 9 bars. You look for the low, you look for the high. You take the high and you add it to the low, and then you divide that by 2. Here's the math, all right? It's going to be 914 divided by 2 is going to be 450.07. Your trading package or your charting package will do all this for you. Some people like to know how it's calculated, so I show them what this is. It is not a moving average. It's a midpoint average. It's not a moving average. It's a midpoint average, which is different. Now, knowing what we know, we can see the price action came from the bottom of the cloud, went into the cloud. The cloud is red. That means we're bearish because we're coming underneath the cloud. We roll back over. Now, if we break this red, where are we going to? You guessed it, bottom of the cloud. If we break the bottom of the cloud, where are we going? You got it, to the green at 425.42, and there's our little hash mark right there. To the standard line. Standard line is the midpoint of the high and the low of the last 26 sessions. You're going to take the high and the low of the last 26 bars, then divide them by 2. That number is your midpoint. So here's how that one works. So usually the line that's closest to the price action is called the turning line. Second closest to the price action is called the standard line. So here's how that's calculated. You take today, you count back 26 bars from here. You find your low range, you find your high range. You take those numbers, 465.75 plus 385.10. You add those two creatures together, which is going to give you 850.85. You divide that by 2. That's going to give you 425.42. There's that number. Once again, if we break this red turning line, we're going to go to the bottom of the cloud. Here is going to be our first target. Our second target is going to be the standard line, which is going to be 425.42. All right. Cloud span A, the midpoint of the turning line and the standard line, shifted 26 bars forward. Okay. So what this is telling us is we've got our turning line, we've got our standard line, the midpoint between those two, and we're going to shift it in the future 26 bars. There you go. Here we have our turning line. Here's our standard line. We take this and shift it 26 bars in the future, and there is our cloud span A. Cloud span B is the midpoint of the high and the low of the last 52 sessions shifted. So how that works is you would take today's price action, then you'd go back 52 bars, and then the midpoint would be right here, and you shift that in the future 26 bars, and there's cloud span B. All right. Now the lagging line is the lagging line for a reason. It lags. Okay. So you've got the lagging line, you've got the price line closed, shifted back 26 bars, which looks like this right here. Here's today's price action. That gets shifted back in the past 26 bars. Now, here's why this is so powerful. Okay. So not a lot of indicators do this, and this is one of the few. So I'm going to back up just a little bit here, and I'm going to remove the ink from this one. Let me go erase all ink. So here you have, this is the past, P-A-S-T, that's the lagging line. Here's the present, I'm just going to call this now, and then here is the future, right? So right now is the price action. This is support right here. This is support. This is what it did in the past, and if these break, this is telling us it's going to go sideways to slightly higher. So past, present, and future. So it's still telling us it's bullish in nature, and it's going to continue on its way. All right, so we've covered the components. And now that I have ran through that information fairly quickly, let's go through some of these signals, all right? Ichimoku chart signals, lagging line crossing the cloud is the most powerful. It's also the slowest signal, but it is powerful. This is my favorite right here. I'll put 3 stars by it. It is the Goldilocks trade when the price crosses the cloud, okay? And we'll go through these. The price and the lagging line touching are signals. The cloud spans crossing is good signals, and the turning line and the crossing line are crisscross signals. So let's go through these really quickly. So this is an old slide of Apple, and as you can see, Apple is in a major uptrend. You can see that nice little cloud supporting it. It sold off to the cloud supported it for the main part here, bounced pretty good, went up, and then do you see where this blue line here crossed below the cloud? Do you see that? That's when the lagging line crosses the cloud. It's the strongest, but it's also the slowest signal. What you're going to do is you're going to short it when that happens, and you're going to stay short until that lagging line crosses that cloud again. So remember how this thing's calculated? 26 bars behind. So that signal was generated when Apple was about right here. That left a lot on the table, okay? And then also, when the lagging line gets up here, the price action on Apple will probably be up in here somewhere, all right? So it's a good signal, it's just slow. A better way to do this, in my opinion, is wait for 1, 2, or 3 bars to cross below the cloud, 1, 2, or 3 bars, and have this pointing like it's going to go through there, okay? So in this case scenario, you'd short it here, and you're going to cover when you get 1, 2, or 3 candlesticks above the cloud. Does that make sense? So it's a faster way to get into the trade without waiting on the lagging line so much. Here is also pretty good signals when the lagging line touches the cloud and when the price touches the cloud underneath. Those are good counter trend signals. And then here are very fast signals, but they're not that reliable, is when you have the turning line and the standard lines cross. So we call it a crisscross signal. That would actually be a sell signal, but I would never take that because my overall trend is still in the upward direction. Now, once we cross down here, and then if we go crisscross, I would short that one. And once again, crisscross, short there. Once again here, crisscross, now short there. Okay? All right, bullish signals. Price above the cloud is bullish. Price in the cloud are bullish if they come from the bullish side. The lagging line crossing the cloud is the main signal of trend change. Prices crossing the cloud is an earlier but less reliable warning of trend change. And the price and the lagging line will often find support at the cloud's edges. Cloud spans crossing may be a sign that the trend is changing. Be on the lookout for thick clouds after a run, which could mean that the trend is about to change. That's the bullish signals. I'm going to take a quick drink while you read the bearish signals to yourself. They're the exact opposite of the bullish signals. Just give me just a second there. Just read through that real quick. All right. So those are the signals. Let's go over here and do some of this stuff live real quick, all right? Because as fun as PowerPoint isn't, let's learn how to do this, all right? So in this area, I'm going to go through a couple of the markets and show you where we're at right now. One of the main things I want to know is when the price action is crossing the cloud. Oh, looky there. Look what we got on the Dow. So the Dow crossed 1 above the cloud and 2 above the cloud and 3 closes today. So the Dow is in new bullish territory. It's now in a new established bullish uptrend. Do you see that? Let's take a see what the ES is doing. ES on a live chart here. ES, that is you've had a couple bars try to close, but they didn't. ES today closed above it. That would be an aggressive long on the S&P. Let's take a look here at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is not there yet, so the NASDAQ is still a good short. Dow and S&P are good longs. NASDAQ still a good short because it's below the cloud. Let's take a look at the Russell really quickly. Russell is still a short. It's just on the bottom edge of the cloud, so that would still be a good short. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil, still a good short until it gets back through the cloud around 40. Okay, you could get long here on a counter trend trade, but I would wait until you get above 40. Let's take a look at gold. So gold is a good long. It is above the cloud and continues to go higher. Gold acts like it wants to go to like 1,300. Let's take a look here at the bond market. So bond market is still a long, but it broke below the yellow and the purple line. So where's the next place that the bond market's going to go? You guessed it. It's probably going to drop right here to the cloud before it bounces again. So you're looking for longer term. Bonds look good, but shorter term right now, since they're down $2.30, it's a pretty good move in the bonds. They're probably going to drop to the cloud, so you could trade those to the downside. The 10-year note. 10-year note also nice little break through the yellow and the purple, goes to the blue next. You can do this on anything else. AAPL. Let's do some stocks. So Apple is a good short going into the overhead resistance of the cloud. Okay. Let's look at Amazon. AMZN. Amazon is a short because it's below the cloud, and it'll probably rally to about 600 and then roll back over. Here's some that recently crossed. BWLD, Buffalo Wild Wings, good long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars above the cloud. That's a decent long with a stop of 155 and a target of 180. WHR, which is Whirlpool. Look at there. Whirlpool had 1, 2, 3 closes above the cloud. It's going to go to 170 with a stop of 147. TGT, little Target. Target, aggressive, moderate, conservative, good long. Probably goes to $90, all right? So now here's how I find these things. So what I do is I look at the cloud, and in TradeStation, you see this indicator over here that says below. What I can do is I can just put the S&P 500 on here, and I can just filter this, and I can go click, 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 and it'll filter it for me as far as which way I'm looking for it to go, and it'll say newly above or newly below the cloud. So if you look down in here, we'll have some that are new above or new below the cloud. Above the cloud, there's new below, there's new above, and all I got to do is really basically just filter the thing for what I'm looking for, and then the cream will rise to the top. Okay, QQQ is going to do the same thing as the S&P, or same thing as the NASDAQ. QQQ. It's still a short until it crosses above that basic 106.60 area. How exactly do you establish the entry? Well, if it goes 1 bar above the cloud, that's an aggressive long. 2 would be moderate. 3 would be conservative. Now, you can scan that using Thinkorswim, TradeStation, TOS, but if you don't have that ability, let's go over here to stockcharts.com. Everybody has access to stockcharts.com. So here's how you do this. You go to stockcharts.com, you click there, and then you scroll to the lower right under these little blue boxes, and it'll say predefined scan results. Okay, and you click there one time. Then you scroll down here to where it says candlestick patterns, and you go to Ichimoku patterns, and you see where it says moved above the cloud, moved below the cloud. So 629 moved above the cloud, 129 moved below the cloud. You hold down the control key and left click, and now it's sitting there doing the math for us. In the background, just going, calculating it for us. And now you're looking for that, and you're just going to let it calculate, Now, this is a free service. I don't have any financial deal with these guys or anything. I don't promote them because I get paid or anything. They're just a free service online, and it looks like we're all using their services. So all you're looking here, all right, now, boom. Now it says predefined scan moved above the cloud, and now I'm just going to sort it by volume, okay? Or if you wanted to, you could just say, hey, I want to look at AAL, or I want to look at AAN. I would just do the ones that have big volume over here on the right-hand side and that trade on a real exchange. So let's do AAL. So we click that little box right there, and then down here we can go, let's go Ichimoku full, and we'll remove everything else just to keep the chart nice and clean. And we'll see if OAAL actually did what it said it did. There you go. So AAL, American Airlines, moved above the cloud. That would be a new long. Does that make sense? And you could filter that over here by volume and just let it filter. You could filter it by exchange too. And then over here is going to be everything that has been broken below the cloud, moved below the cloud today. So you got moved above the cloud and moved below the cloud. Those are going to be good longs if they moved above the cloud, new valid uptrends, and new valid downtrends. Here's why this is so important. Okay, that thing's still scanning. A lot of people on their website right now. So there's AAL. All right. Here's the SPY, Ford, FCX, GE. So there's just some good trade ideals right there. Sprint, Yahoo. You've got GE, FCX, Ford, and the SPY. Okay, now there's all kinds of those there. And then you can also come over here and look at things that have moved below the cloud. You've got POM, MDT. Let's see if there's some other decent ones in here. NAT. So there's all kinds of stuff that moved above or below the cloud. Here's why that's so important and why we scan for that. If you look for, say, crude oil, okay? Now look at this massive downtrend. Notice what happens. When it breaks below the cloud, it's going to continue below the cloud. If it closes above the cloud, it's going to continue above the cloud for the most part. Now here's one where it went above, and then it crossed back through. Notice all of this. Sell signal, massive downtrend. Let's take a look at the YM. On the YM, just got just a few more minutes. YM, we broke below here. It went lower, and then look at here. Now we're breaking back higher again. Same thing with anything else that's above or below the cloud. Any of this service for Forex pairs? Yeah, it's worked 10 years on 22 different Forex pairs. Yes, it works great for Forex pairs. The track record for it on Forex pairs is really, really good. All right, so that's how you use that stuff, and that's what you're scanning for, is above the cloud or below the cloud. There's obviously different trades that you can do, but that's the first one I would scan for. Here's some good trades for you right now that are working well for us. BWLD. WHR, and TGT. All right, so there's some good trades for you. All right, I'm going to get back to the PowerPoint, and then I'll do live charts at the end if I got enough time for questions. All right. So that was, remember, time frames is really important. Daily, hourly, 10-minute. Multiple time frames that I like, daily, hourly, and 10-minute are my favorites. Stops that I use, bottom of the cloud if I'm long, top of the cloud if I'm short, or I'll use a trailing stop for the parabolic SAR. All right, trade setups. We've looked at some live charts. Here are some reviews. The course was awesome. I've taken one bond trade and made over $900. Do you think I'm happy? I just entered the bond trade, shorted again after I took profits earlier today, after you made me greedy for possible further drops. I'm happy dancing. This is the first time I've had a successful trade during a course. I have the hardest head in the world. You couldn't have made it simpler, Mary. Thanks. You are likely the only reason I have kept at this trading, and now that I'm profitable, I can't thank you enough. It was a really great, and I can't wait to attend the gold trading class. Thank you so much, Greg. There's one from Ron. So we are inviting you to become one of our next success stories. So who is this for? If you're serious about making real money in the markets, if you are looking for a proven system, okay, if you can follow a simple set of rules and directions, if you know that your success is actually tied to you taking action. Who is this not for? If you suffer from Holy Grail seeker-itis, if you suffer from hopium, if you're a guru surfer, if you can't make a decision, and if you like to make things more complicated for no good reason. In other words, if you think you're going to start with a $5,000 account and by May you have $2 million, that's an unrealistic expectation. Does it work with futures? Yes, it works with futures. I trade a ton of futures. I use Ichimoku a lot with my futures trading. So here's a fraction of what you'll learn. The #1 best-selling Ichimoku course on the market, 7 proven setups, trading rules and indicator settings, checklist with cheat sheets, with entries and exits, with stop losses and targets, how to scan the markets with Ichimoku, how to filter out the best trades, never guess what to do next, and how to avoid the head fakes. Now here's the thing. Ichimoku is already on your trading platform. I'm just going to teach you how to use it properly, okay? Ichimoku is already on there. You don't have to buy an indicator. It's on most of them already. And if it's not, just set up a demo account on TOS and you'll be good to go. You have 0 risk, 100% satisfaction guaranteed, no questions asked. If you don't love it, I don't want your money, period. We always over-deliver over here. Our goal is that you get a 10x return of the value on your investment. So if you go right here to hubertcenters.com/cloudy, hubertcenters.com/cloudy, boom, I'm going to link this in here for you to read, boom. You can also call area code 859-963-3445. You're going to get the Ichimoku Cloud Charting Secrets for $197. You're going to get how to use it with candlesticks, a value of $97. And we're going to do 4 follow-up webinars at $97 and 1 day of live trading for $97, total of $488. Your special offer, $97 today on this webinar, hubertcenters.com/cloudy, area code 859-963-3445 for the first 50 people on this webinar. All right? So I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to just put this up here. That way you can just see this. hubertcenters.com/cloudy. Telephone number is 859-963-3445. And now if you'll give me symbols or ask me questions, I will answer them until Travis tells me to get out of here. Okay? Travis, how am I doing on time? How much time I got?
Actually, you're doing okay. We haven't had the next speaker show up yet, so I'll give you a cue, but for right now, you're good.
All right, man, cool. All right, so let's take a look at some stocks. I'll kill some time while they're waiting for the next guy to get in here. So we're going to go, I'm going to remove my little drawy thing. So does the Ichimoku sound, does it make sense to you? Hey, Hubert, how about the SDS? So let's go, I'm going to do these in order. SLV, the telephone number, you guys are already ringing off the hook, 859-963-3445. So SLV is a long, but I wouldn't get long again until it got above 1441 with a target of 1540. BX, okay, BX is a short, but you see how it's getting ready to close above the cloud? So on that one, I would add that to my watch list, and if it made it above the cloud and stayed up there for 1, 2, or 3, then I would get long it. How do you check the stockcharts.com slot? Where did you click? Rob, right-hand side, scroll down, called predefined scan results. Hubert, do you get to keep the course? Do you get to keep the course? What do you mean? Yes, if you buy it, you get to keep it. Yes. Yes. SDS. Here is a good short on SDS. 1, 2, 3, 4 closes below the cloud. Shorted at 20.96. Stop would be 21.66, and target would be $19. Okay. Nugget, NUGT, is a good long. It's been a long for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. Good long with a stop of 41.83 and a target of $80. TWOU is right now, it's still a short. I would short it here with a stop of 24, but if it went back above the cloud, I'd want to get long, right? Hubert, can this be used from UK shares? Yeah, it can be used on anything. Yeah. What it is it enables me to take my 20-plus years of experience and teach you how to be a decent technician in a very short amount of time. So what should look pretty to your eye is, watch this, if you look at FGBL, this is the Euro Bund, right? So you're asking about European markets. All right, is that a long or a short? Really quick, is it a long or a short? It's a long. It's a beautiful long. It just continues to go higher. It's above the cloud. If it comes down here to the yellow, I'm going to buy it. If it comes to the purple, I'm going to buy it. If it breaks the purple, I'll probably wait until blue to buy it again. I'm going to stay long this thing until it tells me to stop doing it. Hubert, how well does Ichi work on Forex? What time frame do you work? I use a daily, an hourly, and a 10-minute, and it works fantastic on Forex. On Forex, the backtesting model on Forex, I believe from memory, let's double check my slides. It has worked on 29 currency pairs over the past 10 years, so it's pretty good. Can this be used for UK? Yes. XAU USD. XAU USD. That's just gold at GC. Oh man, I just added a slide to my PowerPoint because I was clicking the wrong thing. My bad. That's just going to be at GC. It's gold. That's along with a target of 1300. How about Nike? NKE. Nike is an aggressive long, actually a moderate. It just went above the cloud. It's got 2 closes above the cloud. So I would get long with a stop of 60.56 and a target of $70. How do you interpret overbought and oversold conditions? You don't do so much of that on Ichimoku. It's a trend following. It's not a counter trend following. So it's for a trend trading methodology, not a counter trend. I would tell you like this right here. See the bonds? So the bonds have been in a massive uptrend, but as soon as they broke below the yellow and the purple, now I would short that, right? I would short that with a target of about 155. No, NKE is not a short. NKE is a long. You see how you had 1 close above the cloud and then 2, and the lagging line looks like it's going to go with you. So this would be a moderate long with a stop of 60.56 and a target of about $70. Hubert, how well can I use it with options? So Robert, what I would do is you go back to your time frame selection, right? So on your time frame selection, let's keep it on Nike, for example. If we're looking at Nike and you're going to trade weekly options, then what I would do is I would trade an hourly chart. If you're going to trade monthly options, I'd use a daily chart. And then what you would do on that situation, if you're looking at Nike and you're going, okay, daily, it's in an uptrend, I would do monthly options. If I went to this and I said, okay, well, I'm going to do a 60-minute. On a 60-minute, right, back here it crossed over on 218 as a buy, I would do a weekly option on that. Does that make sense? Robert, you got it? Curious. Can you give us your time frames again? How many months, days, hours different in your time frame? So are you talking about this right here? So this is my time frame. I like to use the daily, the hourly, and the 10-minute. If I'm doing a daily chart, the chart to the right is going to extend to 20 to 30 days to the right. An hourly chart, I'm going to be in a minimum 3 days. 10-minute chart, 4 hours. Now, it can always be more than that, but that's the minimum. any try on binary options.
Hubert, just
I'm not a huge.
sorry, Hubert, just
Yep.
real quick, we have our next speaker available, but go ahead and feel free to field that last question, and then just give me a heads up.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, Travis. All right. So hubertcenters.com/cloudy. Telephone number is 859-963-3445. I don't trade a lot of binaries, so I couldn't really help you so much on that. I trade more stocks, options. I trade a ton of futures, and I trade a lot of commodities. So, guys, good luck. Thanks for having me. I'll see you on the next one. Good luck. Hope it helps, and wish you the best of luck in your trading.